Okay, so this is my elevator pitch for this sweater that I made. The only real regret I have about it is that I accidentally put the pattern on upside down on the front panel. Everywhere else, it looks good. Trees are right side up, but right there, that's my issue. The reason why I think this is a good product and a good improvement from the original product was, so as far as function goes, the only thing I really needed to change with that previous project was the length of the sleeves. They were long to the point of being a little bit cumbersome. There was a little bit of style to the longness because it kind of pooled at the bottom. There was some ripples and such, but it did get to be a little bit obnoxious, and they wouldn't stay like tucked up, and it was just this whole thing. So I wanted to create a cuff and an appropriate length. So those were two of the changes that I made to that original thing. The cuff that I chose was actually inspired by another piece of clothing that I have that I wore on Halloween. I really enjoyed. That kind of has it has like this cutout. So here I have attached a different kind of fabric to the back. So there I have my original fabric and then this little piece, this little cuff of this white fabric. And I think it's nice because it's a little bit stretchier, it's a little bit firmer, so it would help keep the keep the sleeve in place where I like it, and so it's not too long, it's not coming over your hands, but there is still an allowance for a little bit of pooling around the wrist. And it has this cute cutout, which is another design detail. That was the second edition beyond like these. I added it on both sleeves, and I think they turned out really well. I liked it. And then one of the other changes that I did make as well was to the collar. This is something that if I was to remake this project, I would probably do a little bit different, because getting it on, put it on the first time, and I realized that it might just be a tiny bit too small. Like before, the fabric was just stretching. Now there's two fabrics there, and so I had to kind of work to get it over my head. But it does also have that little V-shaped cutout, not quite as dramatic on this one, because it was a little bit thinner. It was hard to get that crisp edge, but I think with a little bit of technique tweaking, I'd be able to do it there. The other thing I added to this was I cover stitched along the edge and the bottom, but I added a little bit of, I don't know if you can really see it, it's kind of a dark fabric color, but there's two separate lengths. So the front of the thing is just a tiny bit shorter than the back, and there's a little bit of like a flap right here, so it's like whatever, like that. And the reason why I thought that was a good idea was because I liked the fact that it gave you a little bit more mobility. The other one that I made, it kind of sits funky. It's just kind of round and kind of just sits there. And I liked that this one gave it a little bit more of a detail, a little bit more flexibility, like I mentioned. I think it'd be a little bit more easily worn outside of just with that skirt that we made with it. So it'd be a little bit easier to just wear without having to like tuck it in or something like that, or like a jacket over it, because there's a little bit more detail to it. Overall, I really like the fabric. It's very, very soft, like hyper soft, super nice. It would be a good pajama shirt if you wanted to wear it to bed, or, I mean, during Christmas time, you're drinking hot chocolate or whatever you're going to be, just to have something comfortable and stylish to wear. And that's all.